Puerto Rico Wine. Estamos desde Melanzana, en el área de Miramar, uno de nuestros nuevos patrocinadores del portal. Quiero agradecerle a Sandro y por supuesto Orlando, el sommelier de este negocio, por permitirnos hacer una entrevista muy importante con una bodega toscana, una bodega italiana que, aparte de tener propiedad o tal vez tener su sede en Montalcino, donde se hacen los famosísimos Brunello, tiene unas operaciones comerciales en otras partes de Italia, y me refiero a la bodega Banfi. Hoy nos acompaña el señor Enrico Viglierchio, que es el General Manager, el director comercial de la bodega. Esta es una bodega que en Puerto Rico es representada por Plaza Cellars, y vaya nuestro saludo para los amigos también de Plaza Cellars. Enrico, great to have you in the show.
Thank you very much. It's a big pleasure to be in the show in Puerto Rico.
Thank you for the opportunity. Before we get into the wines and the winery, you got here about a week ago, right?
I got here, yes, about a week ago, just arrived on Sunday. And spending all the week in San Juan, and got also to Ponce.
Doing different events with customers, clients.
Visiting the market, doing events, presenting the wine, doing seminars with F&B staff of hotels and restaurants.
That's nice.
And also for the sales team of Plaza Cellars. So it's been quite an intensive
week. But
week.
You know, one of the great things about working with such an awesome winery is that you get to try amazing wines all the time. Because let's think of someone who does not enjoy the privilege of working with such a great high-end quality wines, that they get to taste those bad wines. You're always tasting great wines, and that's one of the privileges of working for Banfi, right?
I always taste wine. I love wines.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious also about wines. So traveling, having the opportunity also to travel around the world, give me really the opportunity to taste also any wines from the world.
Oh, that's nice. Just out of curiosity, obviously as an Italian, I know you love Italian wines, but outside of Italy, outside of your comfort zone, what are your favorite wines?
Let's say there is not one favorite region, but I find out tonight some very interesting products, some very interesting. I like Malbec as a variety.
Okay, nice.
I like very much Malbec as a variety, and there are now some Malbec coming out from Argentina that are extremely interesting, extremely good.
Yeah.
I'm a lover also for. I'm very curious about tasting Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noirs, okay.
According the world, also because Pinot Noir is a variety that is really completely different. Based on the different terroirs where it's grown. So we go to France, we go to Oregon, we go to California, we go to Chile.
Any good Pinot Nero in Italy? Any good?
Yeah, there are some very good Pinot Noir. Predominantly, I think the best are coming from the Alto Adige, the extreme north of Italy. And now there is also some Pinot Noir that are interesting. A new area of cultivation is on the Etna volcan in Sicily.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, I've heard about that.
Very high level.
Let's talk about Banfi. Banfi obviously is a brand, a label that's very well known here in Puerto Rico and all over the world. I've seen Banfi in many travels, you know, that I've taken with my wife to the United States, to Europe, and obviously it's a big thing. What can you tell us about the winery, the people behind the operation? Tell our viewers about Banfi, the winery.
Well, Banfi is a winery that was born in 1978.
Okay.
The owner of Banfi are John and Derry Mariani, two Italo-American brothers based in New York. And the Mariani family has been importer of wine in the US since 1919.
Okay.
But in the 70s they wanted to go back to their country of origin. They wanted to go back to their country of origin and produce their own wine.
Okay.
And they discovered Montalcino.
Are the Marianis originally from Tuscany, or they're from another part of Italy?
Originally, they have a part of the family is from the north of Italy.
Okay.
More on the northwest part of Italy.
Okay.
They were back, discovered this small village in the central part of Tuscany, in the south part. We are located about south of Siena, north of Florence. South of Florence, about 2 hours south of Florence.
Beautiful area. I've been there with my wife, and it's gorgeous.
It's a village. Take into consideration that Montalcino is a village of 3,000 people, and then a lot of vineyards.
Yeah.
Now, they created this estate, this beautiful estate from scratch. It's about 2,800 hectares. In one, it's a unique one property where they developed about vineyards, and they developed not only local varieties, but they introduced also new varieties to the territory of Montalcino, and they made a lot of discovery and a lot of research on Sangiovese, the main variety in Montalcino, in Tuscany, for Brunello di Montalcino. Create also a very nice hospitality center, because in the middle of the property there is a castle, a medieval castle of the 11th century, that is dedicated to hospitality, dedicated to receive our guests, receive the public.
Have you ever had any guests from Puerto Rico in the estate?
Yes,
yeah?
absolutely.
It gets noisy when they're there, right?
Oh, we get a lot of fun.
Oh, Italians are noisy too. So Italians from Puerto Rico.
Do you think we are not noisy?
Yes, it's true. Hey, cheers. Let me, raise a glass and thank you for this. You were saying about...
It's important because it's really important to have people visiting the country of origin of the product. This is something we believe a lot. That because we developed also all these restaurants, wine shop, hotel within our property. We have about 80,000 visitors per year.
That's great. 80,000 a year?
80,000.
That's great. That's more than 7,000 a month. So it's a good number. It's about 6,000, 7,000 a month. So aside from Sangiovese, you guys produce other sort of wines, and I want to use that as a cue to jump into these two new projects that you're sharing with our audience. Tell us about the Vermentino. Let's get into this one first.
These are our last new project that we did. The white is Vermentino. Vermentino is a very old Italian variety, probably not so much known around the world, cultivated predominantly in Sardinia, on the Tuscan coast, and in Liguria. The oldest region are Liguria and Sardinia. We have developed this vineyard on the Tuscan coast. This is the second vintage we produce our Pettegola. I will explain then the joke behind the name of the wine.
How do you pronounce it? Pettegola?
Pettegola.
Pettegola.
Pettegola, has some pink color into the label.
It's very elegant, very ladylike.
You will see on the label a little bird.
I see the bird. Yeah, I see the bird.
Little bird.
Don't show it to winemakers. He eats birds. Tell us about Pettegola.
Because Pettegola in Italian, is a small bird that is flying on the Mediterranean forest, on the Tuscan coast. Very noisy bird. And at the same time, Pettegola is, let's say, translated as a gossiper.
A gossiper, a person who spreads rumors.
Female. Pettegola is female. Pettegolo is male. Pettegola is a woman.
So it's
that's
like
the pink color.
It's like a person who spreads the rumors. In Puerto Rico, we had a program called La Comay. This was this old lady sitting on this big chair. She was telling gossips, on the air for an hour. It was the highest rated program in Puerto Rico for more than a decade. So she was a Pettegola, I guess. So let's get into the wine. What do you get in the nose here?
The nose, the Vermentino is a very, very fresh variety.
It's very aromatic. I like it.
Very aromatic. In certain way, Vermentino, you can have some similarity with Viognier and with certain Sauvignon Blancs. Not very intense, but
I get this floral notes. I get a little bit of. There's a little component of like white fruits, like pears, like.
Yes, also some.
Citrusy, citrus notes, of course. The citruses are there. There's a light hint of
you can say a little bit some tomato leaf.
A little bit of that. I get this nice little touch of, but it's just a trace. It's just like a whiff of a little honey. Very nice, very nice. Let's see what's in the nose. in the mouth.
Very fresh acidity, lot of minerality. It's a little bit salty, you know?
I gotta give some of the wine to my producer, because she's gonna love it, and she's the boss of me. She loves Italian whites. You have to try this. Delicious, delicious. I love the acidity that's ideal to pair with food. For me, Italian wines, and I want you to touch a little bit on that, about the importance of the acidity to, you know, when you were having a meal.
Absolutely, because of majority of the Italian wine, if you taste, are a little bit higher acidity than the wine from other regions, because the wine in Italy is used predominantly with food. The acidity has this factor that is helping to, let's say, cleaning your mouth, and so you can better taste the food, because
and it prepares your palate for the next bite.
They're cleaning your mouth from the fatness of the food, so it's you prepare yourself to enjoy more the food.
It's fantastic. It's really, really good. What would you pair this with? If, let's say that I buy one of these bottles and I send you an email, Enrico, I bought some pettegola.
Okay.
What should I prepare tonight?
I think probably with generally fish, seafood, fish appetizer, any kind of, let's say, fish.
I would love to use this not to start off a night with like a tray of cheeses. You have some friends, and you wanna. I'm a red wine drinker.
Okay.
And let's say that I'm gonna have some friends over, and we're gonna open 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different bottles of red wines. And obviously, I like to start either with bubbles, with like a prosecco or a champagne, or with a white.
Yeah.
With a white wine. And this white, for me, is, I like the fact that it has body. It's not a light wine.
No.
It has good body. But it also has this quality that refreshes you, and it's very well made.
You can use also with some soft, fresh cheese, some canapé.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Then some kind of seafood base.
And this is 100% Vermentino,
yeah,
right?
Also delicious. Some light pasta with not very heavy. It's important not to have a very heavy dressing.
Exactly.
Something not very creamy or big structure.
Like pasta with seafood, like clams.
Yeah.
With like
spaghetto con le vongole va benissimo.
Oh, benissimo. I love your country, man. And let me ask you one final thing. How recent is this project? When were the first?
This is the second vintage.
Second vintage.
Yeah, the first vintage was 2012. We are tasting 2013.
I'm really excited about the red wine we're gonna try tonight. I've heard incredible things about it.
It's a brother of the white, because together with the Vermentino, the Tuscan coast, we developed the project also in Bulgaria.
Okay.
In the Bulgaria area, that is on the coast, a little bit in the north part of Tuscan on the coast. It's a very small appellation, Bulgaria. Interesting because it's an appellation that is, let's say, predominantly non-Sangiovese based.
Exactly, and it's very well known for its Super Toscan wine.
Very known for Super Toscan.
Tell us, our friends, in less than 1 minute, what does the term Super Toscan mean? It's hard, but I know you can.
No, Super Toscan is a terminology that was invented by a journalist in the late 60s, beginning of the 70s, because at that time there was Italian producers experimenting new varieties outside of the appellation, varieties that were not included in the traditional Tuscan appellation. And legally, this wine, according to the legal Italian system, should have been table wine, were table wine, vin de paix.
Those damn lawyers, right?
Yes. So, a journalist, in order to differentiate this wine, even if from the legal term on the label was table wine, created this, let's say, terminology like Super Toscan.
Okay. And in a way, Super Toscans, I've read that it's also because they incorporate like French varieties, right? Like Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot,
Syrah, Petit Verdot.
Exactly.
These were varieties that were not yet let's say, regulated by the appellation rule of Tuscany.
Okay, getting into the Asca, how new is it? When was the first time this was released?
Asca is pretty new. We are talking about the third vintage. The first vintage was the 2010.
Okay.
It was a very, very small quantity, only for the domestic market. Then, since the vintage of 2011, we started approaching also some export market, and one of the first that we are introducing this product is Puerto Rico.
That's awesome. That's great. That's such a small island, such a small country.
So
we get to have this experience.
You will find this wine in Puerto Rico, but not in the States. I'm sorry, because
Really?
the States will be introduced.
Come on, this is first.
Next spring.
That's beautiful. I'm going to share this with. So what does the word Asca mean?
Asca is an Etruscan term, an old Etruscan word that was for the Etruscan. Asca was the jar,
okay,
the terracotta jar that was used to store wine or oil.
Beautiful.
So predominantly wine.
It's very much related to the wine culture. So let's get into the wine.
The wine is, first of all, Asca is a blend predominantly Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
It's a 95 Cabernet Sauvignon and the 5% Cabernet Franc.
Oh, this is delicious. I love how you guys, when I say you guys, not only Banfi, but high-end Italian wineries can achieve this elegance with Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon from other parts of the world, I'm not gonna name names, but can get too ripe, too big, too juicy, too monothematic, like, boring, a little cooked. But you guys achieve this elegance, this balance, and here, instead of getting this whack of fruit, I get this tension. And I love the cherries here. I love the notes that are reminiscent a bit of very like red-black fruits. A little bit of that pepper note that I love. That probably from the Cap Franc. Cap Franc gives you that black pepper note. And the cherry, very vibrant, and in the palate, it's silky. It's silky.
It's silky, but there's a very nice texture in terms of acidity, and tannins are very present. But yes, it's silky like velvet.
And they're integrated. I mean, this 2012. If you taste, let's say a Cabernet Sauvignon from Bordeaux, from Pauillac, from the left bank, it will cut your mouth. It'll cut your mouth. This one right here,
completely different.
Obviously, it's going to be better. It's going to age very well, but it's so approachable right now. And the acidity, I love the acidity. Italian wines, my friends, are meant to be enjoyed with food. Obviously, you can have it by themselves, but I love the fact that this Cabernet Sauvignon does have this incredible acidity that will cut through the food. It's delicious. It's delicious, and this sells for a very good price, right? Because you find some Super Toscans out there that are in the $100, $200, $300 range. This is very good, very, very good. In terms of pairing.
In terms of pairings, here we are in a typical red wine pairing, so you can have from pasta course, main course, meat, even let's say
there's some herbs, some spices, some herbs.
Also with certain fish dishes you can easily pair because it depends.
With your Cabernet you can't, but there are some Cabernets from other parts of the world that would kill the fish.
Yeah, but in this case with this wine, with of course fish. With a good fried fish, deep fried fish, or some salmon.
I would love to have this with something that has a rosemary. I get some herbs, like some rosemary, a little bit of a floral note, and this is. I like to make analogies. I'm sorry, I'm such a rude guy, didn't pour you. We have more. You have plenty more of this one. But I like to make analogies between Italian wines when they're well made with Italian shoes. Italian shoes are so elegant, so comfortable, and they're long lasting, right? And Italian, obviously Italian culture, Italian, everything Italian is just lovely. I simply love it. And I would like to ask you one final thing.
Yeah.
And I guess that this is important for our viewers. What? Don't worry about it. We'll edit that. We'll edit that. What does Puerto Rico represent for you guys in your winery as a market? Even though we're a small island, but how do you guys in Italy view Puerto Rico as a market?
Puerto Rico for us is a very important market. First of all, it's a market that in a certain way, of course, is linked certain way to the US, but at the same time to the Caribbean. It's a market where, probably it's the market where there is a number of products present in this area. If you consider Puerto Rico in the Caribbean, it's a market with a very good assortment of wine from all over the world.
That's what we say in our program all the time, that we're blessed that even though we live in a small island, we have this availability of labels.
Availability of labels much more than any other island in the Caribbean, South America, and for us is the main market in the Caribbean, Puerto Rico. It's a very important market. It's a market where we have also been one of the first export market Banfi developed.
Okay.
Since the creation of Banfi, due to the long time relationship between the Cimino family and the Mariani family.
For how long have the Banfi wines been in Puerto Rico? For a long time, right? I've seen them. I started out, tasting wines about a decade ago, and I've seen Banfi all the time.
Probably, I would not say, probably since close to 30 years.
Yeah. Why the name? What does Banfi mean?
The Banfi name is coming from the mother side of the family.
Oh, okay.
Because the founder of the company in the States, because Banfi was born in the States as an importer of wine, as Banfi Vintners.
Okay, I see. And so it's a last name. Banfi is not a name made up, it's a last name.
On the mother side, because the founder wanted to tribute to the company to her homes.
Well, these are two amazing wines. I want to thank you once again for giving us this opportunity. We know you're a very busy man. You have a very high position with the winery. You get to travel all over the world. And now I'm going to close with Spanish for my viewers.
Okay.
Amigos, gracias por seguirnos. Ha sido un verdadero privilegio hablar con Enrico en la noche de hoy desde Melanzana en el área de Miramar. Estos son vinos de gran calidad, de gran estructura, de una muy buena acidez. Son vinos de mucha elegancia, como suelen ser los vinos italianos, y son vinos diferentes. Tiene usted aquí la oportunidad de probar una uva que es Vermentino, salir un poco de la rutina de probar siempre Chardonnay, de probar siempre Albariño. Pruebe un Vermentino, no se va a arrepentir y es perfecto para comer. Y segundo, un Super Toscano, que es una mezcla de uvas francesas hechas en Italia. Y este vino tinto está sencillamente espectacular, es elegante, es poderoso, es accesible y de nuevo está hecho para comer. Son vinos de gran calidad, los puede conseguir con los amigos de Plaza Cellars y por supuesto aquí en Melanzana. Gracias por seguirnos y salud. Salud, Enrico. Thank you very much. Gracias.